Yep, we are definitely live, so they saw.
Live.
Good morning. How we doing? We're whoa! We hit that thing. Holy cow! How about like this? Listen, we're live training right here. Have a little ditty going. Now we're all jammed up.
All on Facebook.
What's up, y'all?
All right, we're coming a little rough, stumbling and tumbling, but it's been a long weekend from the holidays. But we're here. The usual suspects, myself, Thomas Bellingham, Cody Hinkle, Dave Mattingly, and of course, our very lovely Julie King from King Financial Repair.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 of 4.
Yes.
We
Did you guys
learned
have a good weekend?
We had a great weekend. How about you?
That's awesome.
Did you ride your motorcycle?
Rode my motorcycle, went and saw local crashers.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Went and saw local
Oh.
crashers, rode my motorcycle.
There a girl.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. Hope everyone's staying dry. Listen, we do want to let everyone know, we don't necessarily have a big push, but we just want to let everyone know that down in Texas, anybody's watching, or in Houston, if you have any family or loved ones that, I know I could speak for all 4 of us, we've been thinking and praying for everyone down there. It's got to be rough, and we're just sorry it's happened to you guys. And for Irma that's coming as well, people in Florida, Puerto Rico, and in South, where we're praying and thinking of you too, and bracing for anything that may happen. So had to get that off the chest, just because it's been such a part of our fabric in the world these last couple of weeks. And but again, we're here. It's Tuesday or Monday, however you want to look at it. We're doing the Monday Bell Tuesday edition. Again, part 2 of our King Financial Repair credit training. So last week we talked a little bit about how kind of credit works and different scenarios of how it can affect. Again, if you have a 450 credit score, it's going to be tougher to get a loan. Therefore, you have less options to get either VA, FHA, not VA, an FHA, conventional. But in your guys' world, you have other programs you can use with a better credit score, correct?
Yep.
Which affects you financially. So if you go conventional, and let's say you have a 750 credit score, and again, I'm just throwing things out, you have more options to...
Yeah, you have more options. Not only do you have more options, but the options that you do have, you get a better deal on those options. So you can get a conventional loan down to 640. I wouldn't...
To drop PMI?
No, it has...
Where can you drop PMI? Where can you drop PMI?
PMI is the loan to value, 80%. As long as you have a conventional loan at 80%, you're going to drop your PMI. But the interest rate that you get and the mortgage insurance that you do pay, there's a big tier system that never drops on credit score. So if your credit score is in the 700s, you're going to get a much better deal than if it was in the 600, low 600. On a conventional FHA, it doesn't really matter what your credit score is, because it's all pretty much the same.
It's all
conventional. It's a big determinant of that.
So again, last week, that kind of summed up a little bit what we talked about last week. So this week, what do we have this week? How can you take someone from let's say a 550 credit score? What are your steps with them? What can they expect in your program from day 1 to, let's say, day 90? Let's be a little conservative.
The way our program works is we work on all the information. So people will find us if they go to the bank, if they go to you guys, they try to get a mortgage, they contact Thomas to buy a house, and their credit's not really where it needs to be. Well, they want to buy a house and they want to, have a permanent residence for their family. So they'll call us, and then once they call us, we'll have them either send over the credit report or we'll have them follow a link. And once they follow the link, we can log into the credit report. It doesn't count as an inquiry. So it's a real...
So kind of like a soft touch, if you will, or just...
Not even.
Not even, really?
It
Okay.
doesn't affect it at all. It doesn't show up that you checked your own credit report. Once we look at it, we'll create a plan of action, which typically is the client get their credit cards below 30% or obtain a credit card. Then we go to work on getting rid of the negative information. Anything that shouldn't be on a credit report is like bankruptcies, tax liens, judgments, late payments, repos, foreclosures, child support. Anything that's negative on a credit report, we will try to find a way that it's not accurate. So it can be dated wrong, it can be the balances wrong. And then we remove those while the client builds their credit through a credit card, and then we can send it back to you guys to qualify.
Great. Now, it seems kind of daunting. Again, I know we touched on this last week, but when someone comes and, kind of makes them squirm a little bit, and, I profess I went through because I just didn't have enough credit, but I've been through your program, worked really well, had great success with it. But how do you get people? How can you tell people that it's okay to have bad credit or it's okay to have slow credit? How do you get them in just to put them at their comfort level?
Well, I have experience myself. At 16, I had my first apartment. So at 18, I didn't know I was supposed to pay the bill. I just thought.
No, here, take this apartment. Go ahead.
No, I never taught me that. So I had an eviction on my credit report before I was ever 18.
Oh wow.
And then
Can they even establish credit even before you're 18?
I was a legal adult at 16.
Okay,
I was
all right.
emancipated, so I was able to. They didn't want to give me the apartment, even though, but I had the paperwork saying, hey, she's a legal adult.
Sure.
So they gave me the apartment. I didn't pay the bills. My credit was shot. And then a couple years later, that's when I started doing real estate in South Carolina. I do not do real estate anymore. If you need a realtor, Thomas is the guy to see.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
So then.
So at 16, you became a legal adult, which I'm 41 now. I'm pretty sure that I'm not considered a legal adult. So hats off to you. That's great that you were pretty much advanced.
Yeah.
Where we're still trying to catch up. So at 16, you get this credit in your name. You got an apartment. I imagine maybe when I got a store card or something like that, or which. And again, the reason I'm bringing this up because I know many of you have. I know when I was in the Marine Corps, they're like, here, apply for a credit card, Sears or something like that. Where I'm like, sure. I had like a $3,000 limit. I'm like. Stereos for everybody, man. Walkman CD. Went to Circuit City. I was tearing that stuff up, man. Yeah. Christmas time came. Hey,
A lot of people look at it as free money. For sure.
It was free money for a while. Until bill starts coming in, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do with this? At that time, I was making maybe $900 a month as an E2, as a PFC in the Marines, and I'm like, man, I got this $2,500 credit card bill, and I'm like, the bill was like 100 and some up. I'm like, no, that cuts into my beer drinking money. That cuts into going to Myrtle Beach or, but again, kind of making lighthearted jokes about it. But excuse me, there's people that, let's say you make $40,000 a year. They're driving around, and I see them all the time out here. They're driving around $100,000 cars. A lot of that's just making smart decisions. Granted, we've all made some poor decisions financially, one way or the other. But if you get in that jam, that's where Julia comes in to correct that or kind of set you back on the right path.
A lot of times people try to keep up with the Joneses,
Yeah.
the neighbors next door. And instead of finding peace inside of them, they want to go shopping. And I find a lot of clients that get into that situation where their credit cards are maxed out. You've got $150,000 in credit cards.
Or they'll spend it. They know they're getting a chunk of money coming in. Again, tax is always a big one. Tax returns. That's why you always see everyone's running these specials. Hey, come by now. Wait, pay it later for your tax returns. But something happens where you don't get your tax return back, or it's intercepted, or an issue unfortunately arises where you have to now take that money and put it to an emergency versus paying the credit card that you went out and bought the stuff that you don't really need, or the expensive purses. That's what always gets me. The expensive purses that, no offense, this is not directed at you, but some ladies will go buy expensive purses. They don't even have the money to put in the doggone purse.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they'll buy a $500 purse and, waiting on the next check to hopefully pay it off just to keep it around. So again.
And they get a flat tire.
Yeah.
Then you have to pay them.
Yeah.
Let me. This was a question that I had coming from last week's show. How you were talking, like what we were just saying about, like let's say you have an apartment for 2 years. These people that don't have established credit, how you can put apartment history or rent history on a credit report. How much of a bump up can that make?
It counts the same as like an installment loan or a mortgage, so it has a great effect. You can see 50 to 100 points depending on what else already on the credit report.
Wow.
If they have nothing, they can go from a no credit score to 700 in 45 days by adding their rental history and just getting a credit card.
That's awesome. That's great.
And then they're going to qualify for better rates.
Yeah, absolutely. Or in some cases, when they have like a 600 or a 550 credit score, that can actually get them eligible from not even being able to get approved.
So if there's anybody out there that not sure about their credit or it might be down, if you're renting a place, do this. That sounds like
Absolutely.
the best
Yeah.
thing you can do.
Last week, we did get some private messages from some of the viewers, but put it in the comments, or continue to private message us, or you know how to get a hold of any four of us on Facebook, social media, etc. Call us. Your website again is
kingfinancialrepair.com. So it's
kingfinancialrepair.com, right?
Mhm.
Should we'll go back and retag that and put that in the description, guys. So, what are some of the bumps and bruises you guys see? What's the biggest thing when you pull someone's credit and say, okay, we're going to go buy this house? Do you see a lot of foreclosures, or someone had a foreclosure, or car repos, or is it unsecured credit card debt, or?
We see it all across the board.
Sure.
I would say a lot of things we see is collections that
Okay.
negatively affect, and I don't want to. Everybody's story is different. On mine, personally, I think a lot of collections come when people are younger and just like you just don't know. Like when I had that medical
Sure.
bill, I was like
Yeah.
in college. I was like, I don't need to pay this. This will disappear somehow. But that sticks with you. So there's in your credit report is like your whole life story, but like it's
Tells
unless
the story.
you have somebody take something off of it,
Sure.
it's going to stay on there for the most part. So that's what I see the most of. Is the collections probably?
So, and that's funny you say, because I think about that when something goes to collections, again, from personal history, that means you didn't address it. So I think most times that these creditors will work with you. So let's say Sears, right? Say, I have $3,000 limit, whatever, 19 years old, and I'm out buying CDs and this and that. You don't pay the bill. It's because I never called Sears and said, hey, listen, I got too excited too quick, I'm going to pay. I think as long as you're having communication with that creditor, they're not going to send you to the collection agency. So now, let's play this out. You have a debt to Sears, then now you have a debt to this collection company. So that's two. You're getting hit twice. So twice as hard. Am I correct by saying that?
You're correct.
Okay. And then that's legal. They can hit you twice on it because you owe the money to Sears via this collections company.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So that's where it comes into place. So if you have a collection for a credit card like Sears, and then they send it over, I don't know who Sears sends it to, so we're just saying Enhanced Recovery.
Okay.
Because that's one of the collection companies. They send it to them. You don't have a financial obligation with the collection company. So you can go back and pay Sears, and then get a letter to me saying that it's paid. Then we can invalidate that you have a charge off because it's paid. And then the collection company, it's a Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. You don't.
What was that?
Fair Debt Collection Practices
Okay.
Act. They have to prove that you owe the debt. Well, you didn't ever sign a contract with the collection company. So collections are really easy to remove.
Okay. Yeah, because, again, going down that path years ago, I've received the phone calls. And you're like, I ain't answering this thing, But when they call you up, they'll leave a voicemail, or and they scare some of these people saying, you're going to jail, or blah, 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 or we're going to take your kids away, or whatever they say, just to get you to pick up the phone and call. Is that can they legally do that?
No.
They can't.
No. They can't even legally threaten to put a judgment on you, because the only person that can put a judgment on you is a judge.
Okay.
So they'll threaten that.
They can't even put like a mechanics lien on you or something like on your house, or.
I'm really not sure
All
what
right.
mechanics lien is. That is
It's a generic term of saying.
lien against the property. Right?
Yeah.
If it's a business, they could, but they legally can't tell you that they're going to do things unless they have a proven track record of doing it.
Gotcha.
They all like to threaten you. I had a client last week actually a former client. She contacted me via Facebook. She said, my daughter, they're showing up at the house. She owes some money to some people. They're threatening to go to her work. They're leaving
What?
business cards on her doorstep. And
The collection company?
yes.
Hey, collection company, I don't think I have any out there from back in the day, but I do believe in the Second Amendment rights. So go ahead and darken my doorstep, and yeah. That's crazy. That's insane.
So she's like, what do I do? I was like, you tell them don't contact you again. And she's
Right.
like, what do you mean? I was like, tell them don't contact you. It's a Fair Debt Collection Practices Act violation. If they contact you again, you're going to collect $1,000. And then they're going to wind up paying their own debt off, plus some to the person's pocket.
Yeah, that's like Louisville Slugger material. Get off my So Cody, you're 24?
6.
3?
Call it 23.
So 26, but you yourself, you're very intelligent, high functioning and astute about your things, and I'm kind of just not calling you out here. I just think it's interesting because at your age, I'm like, screw that. You know, I'm burning $100 bills and lighting cigars and stuff like that. And where did you learn? Was that from home, or is that just something internal? That
kind of just like we were talking. Everybody has their story. I racked up my credit card debt when I was in college through football. I mean, you guys know how it is during.
Sure.
You know, when you play football, you don't have time to work a job. And so I would try to save up as much money as I could during the summers that would get me through, you know.
Fall semester.
Yeah, exactly. But I had credit cards, and I was like, oh, free money, swipe,
Yeah.
swipe. And,
Yeah.
you know, and then you start getting the bills for it, and it's like, well, let me hide this in the dresser. And so in college, my credit score, or the beginning of college, my credit score was actually terrible because I had these credit cards that I was late payments, not making payments, whatever it was, and literally just learned the hard way. And then, you know, kind of built it from the ground up, I guess. You know, once I paid that stuff off and all that stuff, then it, you know, it shot up and it took time, but kind of just learned the hard way, really.
Yeah, that's 4 out of 4. So I know you're not different, and I'm not being mean or judgmental or ugly, but you know, the 4 of us, which I consider all 4 of us, at least 3 of the 4, but at least you 3 are high level professionals, and but that just goes to show that if you're out there and you know you're in our position and you fell on some hard times or made some mistakes in the past, and it keeps falling on you, call Julia or get a hold of us. We'll get you contacted with her, and let's get the thing fixed. Like I said, there's that commercial that's running now. I think Credit Karma, the little Chinese lady. She's like, "Damn it, I have bad credit. And I'm proud of it because I've done something about her." You know, whatever she says, but you know, you just got to face it. And I know someone out there watching it right now that you want to reach out. You want to say, you know what, that is me, but I'm ashamed and embarrassed. Get over it, because you know what, you're still you want the 30 seconds it's going to take to say, Julie, I need help, or do you want to keep dragging that heavy anchor around? Let's just let's fix it now. Let's sever the ties of the bad debt and move forward.
And there's a 9-day money back guarantee. So either you're going to get help or you get money back. Out of thousands of people, we have been able to help too. So
Either way, get with the guys. We can at least start there. Try to get pre-qualified. You may not be in as bad a condition as you think you are. So let's get a hold of the guys over here.
That is one thing that I will say, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
A lot of times people.
This whole show's about cutting each other off.
A lot of the time, we see a lot of people that say their credit score, what they saw on Credit Karma, say was like 560, and it's way off. And then we actually pull it, and it's really like 620, 630, and they're actually eligible, or vice versa. But you know, a lot of the times, Credit Karma, I feel like, is way off. Is that
FACO scores.
okay?
So there's FICO,
FACO.
and then there's FACO.
All right, how funny.
Love it. Kind of like fake news these days, right?
The Snoop stuff.
What's
The
that?
Snoop's news.
Snoop News?
You can go to Snoop's, like there is a.
Yeah. Well, I watch his Planet Earth. You ever see that? Oh my God! Well, we'll play here in a little bit. Yeah, you'll urinate all over yourself. It's crazy. Yeah, he talks about mongooses. Anyways, I think he's high as hell on the show, but he's got his own.
Where he does the voiceovers of the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. They're ridiculous.
The FACO. Okay, so FACO, cause it's FICO's.
There was a Facebook message going around that people were giving out business cards, and then the girls were like falling out in their cars, and they were getting followed. So I got scared. So I went and Googled it, and it was fake news.
Yeah.
And they were spreading.
Like The Rock died or something like that, or last week or something, whatever. So, anyways, I know you're out there, and you're like, I wish I could just get rid of this bad debt, but I don't want to, you know, come talk. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to. Just get a hold of Julia. That's why we have her here, is that we can get you in touch with someone that's going to help you fix your scores, or you know, get rid of that bad debt, or you know, reassure you that you're not in a bad situation. Get a hold of guys, get your pre-approval, and if it comes down and you do want to find a house, I'd love to run that business. But I want to care about your financial health first. I know these 3 want to display their care and love for your financial health and get you squared away. So.
And I know one thing for sure is that there are tons of listeners out there, literally on this episode right now, that could have an impact on their credit score by having the rent added on there.
Sure.
Because that's something that we see all the time.
30 days, just like that.
Yeah, it is, you know, just non-established credit where we sit here and look, okay, well, where are you living now? Plainview Apartments, we've been there for 4 years. Well, let's add that onto your credit report, your rent history, and shoot your credit score up 100 points and you're approved.
You know, maybe you have a son or daughter, grandson, grandchild, something like that, or someone that could use Julie's services. That you're like, you know, I know they're going down a bad path financially. I'm trying to help them, but maybe it's time that they see the lights and sit down with a professional to at least give him or her the horror stories of what can happen. Again, we talked about it, and I'll wrap this up by saying that if you're going out looking for a job, I promise you look at credit scores. I promise that most times that they will pull your credit history and just kind of see where you've been, what you're doing. So.
And get remove the negative stuff off that it shouldn't be there.
Sure.
People can qualify for jobs over 70,000.
Yeah.
But they are able to pull if you're making over 70.
Any other parting shots, guys?
No, that's it. Keep in mind your credit score is always evolving, just like you are as a person. So you can get back on that straight path and get it fixed. It's simple.
It is and it isn't.
But it's doable for sure.
We love you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good week, guys.
And remember our training, the training.
Give me a call.
Ding, 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 ding. See, there you go.
Yeah. Peace.